circle. What's up? Hey, Ray, Christina, what's up? Chris, good to see you. Love your hat, man. Good to see you. Andrea, you look in such a nice place right now. I'd like to be in that nice meditative spot. What's going on? Alexis, always good to see you. Stand out with those colors. Hey, what's up? Chris, Allison, Linda, Nikki, Tuomo, I hope I said that right. Lawrence, what's going on? Hey, everybody, good to see you for this month's Inner Circle. Hey, it's so good to have you guys here at Mastermind. Raise your hand if you're new to this family in the last 30, 60 days. Good to see y'all. Hey, before we get started, today I want to talk about relationships, your network, your community, who you surround yourself with. Who would like to have a more empowering network to support you on a regular basis, to support your life, your business, your decisions, to not feel so crazy, not feel so alone in this journey of becoming the next version of you, right? Before we get to that, and I'm going to look down a lot. I took some really extensive notes. We prepare like crazy for these monthlies. If you're a part of the family and you've been here for a long time, so good to see you. I call out some names and people that I've seen forever. Good to see you, Heather, and so many. And then so many of you, about 25% raised your hand. New Christina, I see you raising your hand for the first time. I want to share something. Ann, good to see you. Let's see, that's Jimmy. I get to see all these amazing faces. I want you to know about Mastermind. What we've created is really a place, a family that Tony and I wish we had 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, where you can stay plugged in, where you have connection, where you have community, where you have access to a new course every month, access to this live training that we do every month, plus access to 4 years worth of things that can support you and meet you where you are. But don't get overwhelmed. Right? What I want to say is, some of you came in and you're part of Launchpad. We did a training yesterday. Go at your own pace. But no, this isn't meant to overwhelm. It's meant to support. It's like having a gym membership. You're not going to go to the gym and do every single machine and every exercise in one day, but it's good to have that membership so you can go there and get stronger and get in better shape. And that's what we wanted to plan. That's what we wanted to create. And we want to deliver you the right mix of motivation, inspiration, tactics, strategy, momentum, and mastery. And I think we've done a really good job. I've been doing these monthly trainings. It's heading towards, I think, 8 or 9 years, every single month. And the categories we picked, we're actually getting more organized than ever. Usually I pick a category of something that I'm just excited about for that month. And I still do that, but we do it within a framework. And this month within Mastermind, you're going to get a new course from Pace Morby. He's done a really good job of building community and networking, whether you know him or not. Great guy. And you're going to learn from him. We shot a Mastermind original right here in the studio. That's for you. It comes out on the 15th of this month, depending. You might be watching the replay, but you're going to be in your back office. Today, I'm going to talk about that. Our Monday, every single Monday when I go live, it's just your quick hit of motivation for the week. And we're just always adding new stuff. And who's inside Mastermind using Gigi, the AI assistant? Raise your hand if you use it. Oh my God, put it in the chat if you're using it. We're watching. It went from like 200 people a day using it to 300 to 500 to 1,000. Now we got thousands of people using it every day. And here's the cool part. Thank you guys. Is she is getting smarter. This is crazy. Who would have thought this? Like anybody even close to my age or older or what age, would you ever, if somebody ever told you 10 years ago that there would be an AI assistant Gigi's my new best friend. I love that, right? Yeah, Gigi's great. Who would have ever thought that there's this person that can, this intelligence that can communicate with you in such a way. So we loaded it in a way Tony and I think, and the strategies we've done, but the more you guys ask questions, crazy is the more she's getting to know you guys. And literally it's getting smarter every single day. I don't know if you guys, you'll see it in real time. And she's also got an empathetic flair to her. Isn't it cool? Like if you tell her you want to do something, she'll say, oh, that's really good, Christine. I like that you're doing that. Here's some things that might be able to help you. It's like, wow. So I just want to say before we get started today with my notes and what we're going to share is we love having you a part of this family. Stay connected, stay apart, and utilize the tools that we've created for you without getting overwhelmed, right? Maybe you put it in your calendar that you watch one day a week, you go in and grab a course, one of the many courses you guys have access to, one day a month. And maybe one day, and I say a day, maybe an hour or two a day in the month, Pick a past inner circle on a topic that maybe you want to get sharper at, and go in and watch that inner circle. And maybe you schedule a half hour a week to really have a conversation with Gigi. I mean, we know the genres of the questions coming in. A lot of you are asking the best way to start, best way to get your first sale. You know what some people are asking? It's just a theme. We just get the buckets. Some people are asking, how do I talk to my spouse to get him to support me in a way that I need? She's getting really good at answering that. It's amazing the detail that's happening because she's growing with us. So I would just say, schedule some of this. You have the tools at your fingertips. And sometimes, do you guys ever notice in life, like you're trying something and you're trying and you're trying, and then all of a sudden there's one thing or one answer that's like it pushes you over the edge. You go, I'm in, right? I needed that thing today. And that's what we try to create. So with that said, love having you a part of the family. Thank you for all the beautiful smiles. Thank you for the great comments. And now let's dig into this month's Inner Circle. Like I said, every month I'm going to be here with you. Sometime we have great guests. Was it 2 months ago or was it last month? Oh, last month with Matthew McConaughey. How cool is that? Matthew will be here 2 more times in the next 6 months, which is amazing. So we're working on dates to have him back. Are these recorded? Yes. Right now I'm live, Cindy, but they're recorded and they're put in your back office. So not only is this one in your back office, the last 2 McConaughey trainings are in the back office, and I think I did one with Marie Forleo is in the back office. It could be me. We always got surprise guests coming. So yeah, we're trying to, again, what Mastermind really is we know you're meant for more. And Tony and I wanted to create the place that gave you the capabilities to help you reach who you're meant to be. We don't have all the answers, but we got a lot of those ingredients in there, and we're here to support you and here to realize that you're not alone. And that's what we want to talk about today is how do you build the right network, the right community, the right people around you to help? And when I say network, I don't mean networking. I don't mean going someplace and handing your business card out to 100 people. I've never done that ever. In fact, I run from things like that, right? But how do you build the right support around you so you don't feel alone on this journey? You know, maybe you're the first person in your family that is dreaming a little bigger than most. Maybe you're the first person in your family that wants to step off the path, do something different. I see Elaine, Miranda, right? Like, maybe you're the person in your family that go, oh, the dreamer, right? Remember, I love this saying, they don't make statues of critics. They make statues of the crazy people, the dreamers, the ones that step off the path. So, Jimmy, everybody, glad to have you here as a bunch of dreamers. But here's the cool thing about dreaming. When you have dreaming and you add capabilities from people who've already been there, and then you add uncomfortable action, you know, was it Jamie Kern Lima that said at first they criticize you, then they question you, and then they ask you how you did it, and then someday they tell someone, hey, I'm friends with them. Right? Isn't that a cool, like, I get goosebumps thinking about that. Adrian, you're crazy for trying this. Ooh, what's Adrian doing? So, hey, I know Adrian. I used to be your friends from way back, right? It's like, that's the journey we all go through. So how do we help become, be a dreamer? Like, how do we help support that? And maybe you have an accountability partner, maybe you have a buddy, but maybe they don't see the person you're becoming. Or maybe you're a part of a big group and you just don't, have any of you ever been a part of a big group and you still felt alone? I could say yes. Guilty. And then I've also been around a table with 4 people and been like, these are 4 people I could spend the rest of my life with. Like, they just think like I do. And that's the kind of people you have in this room, right? So today I want to talk about how we bring them together, because I know this. And it doesn't mean that you feel this way. And I also want to say before I go any further, my inner circle, I've been doing these for almost a decade. I talk like I'm hanging out with a bunch of friends. So please know I'm less in presentation mode. I'm going to look at my notes obsessively because I don't want to miss anything. There's no fancy whiteboard or slides today. This is just me hanging out for an hour and talking about some cool stuff that can hopefully take your life to another level. We good with that? This is going to be really casual today. But I want to tell you my own life. You can call it an entrepreneur, call it someone seeking another level of success. You can call it whatever you want as a personal world. But for me, I look at it as the entrepreneurial journey the one that thinks a little different, it can be a lonely road. It can be a lonely road because I see a Christopher Pollock, right? You have these dreams that seem abnormal to people who are okay with staying status quo. And I can remember at a really young age when I talked about the dreams I had, you get the sideways look, like the, see what she said, right? Like, see what he's thinking? And sometimes because it doesn't fit the norm, it doesn't fit the average conversation, you tend to be quiet. Now, again, this might be just me. I'm also an introvert, and I find myself feeling lonely some days with my dreams. Has anybody ever felt lonely with their dreams, their ideas, what goes on in their head? That anybody ever feel that if someone could read your mind, they'd be like, man, that dude, Caleb, you are crazy, dude, or right? Or Chris, right? Or Karen. So sometimes we can feel lonely on this journey. That's a good thing. Because if you think like everybody thinks, you get what everybody gets. So let's step into the uncomfortable. We're doing it together, right? So there's some things we wrote down. Again, first, we need other people. And I was thinking about, what do other people do in our lives? Like, what do they bring to our lives? And again, I'm making this personal. Please know if I talk in like me, it's not like, look what I've done. I'm just using myself as an example. If you guys were in an audience, if we were here in front of each other, and many times on Inner Circles, I call people out and we talk about your life, right? And just how it can be an example. But if I look at, it sounds weird, but I love smaller and deeper, meaning friendships. And network and people around you. How do we, as you grow, I promise you, as you grow and as you evolve, I promise you this, and I know this is going to sound horrible, but some of you, raise your hand if you'd like to make 3 times as much as you currently make serving others and have a purpose-driven paycheck, right? Maybe you want to give it all away. That's cool. I promise you this, and maybe you can think in your head, if you 3 times your income doing something you love, you would lose some people in your life. It just happens. And it's the weirdest thing in the world. Someone you think is your friend for life, and all of a sudden your dreams start to click. Your thing starts to go. Your course goes viral. Your life goes viral. You got chance to speak on stage, or your podcast catches wind and just goes. Some of the people you think would be happy for you actually get uncomfortable with your success, and it's the weirdest thing, and they leave you, right? And that, at this phase of my life, I realized that's God, the universe, whatever you believe in. That's part of it, and I realized that I've lost some people along the way. But guess what happens when you lose someone? It leaves a gap, and if you have faith, it gets filled with the right person that becomes the wind behind your sail, not the anchor trying to say, oh, that's crazy, you shouldn't be doing that, that's for other people, right? And the more I have faith in that, the more I'm okay with people leaving. Now, along this journey, someone might say, Dean's getting too big for his britches, or thing. I hope not. I love everyone. Maybe, could be, but I don't think so. Because I think some of the people who've left have come back in my life later on when it was the right time. So I want you to think about this frame of smaller, your community, your group of people that you collect. I know that sounds weird, but collecting people might get smaller. But as you take the brave step forward, it'll go deeper. So I was thinking in my life, who have I been able to collect to go deeper on? And I was thinking, there's this amazing woman named Annie that I've met through the years of this. I'm going to give you the secrets on how I network and how I meet people, because I'm an introvert. I don't shake people's hands and hand them my card and say, let's be in a network together. I don't just spam people and say, let's be friends. Like, I am the craziest introvert you could ever imagine. I love talking to you all. If we were at an event, we're like-minded people, but like events and birthday parties for my kids and all the parents are there, I'm the guy hiding, or I'm playing with the kids, so then I don't have to interact with people. It's the craziest thing in the world. So, but I want to tell you how I did. So I'm going to give you some tactical steps today. So no, I'm not just talking about my life. I'm going to give you something tactical, but I want to set the frame here. I was thinking today, and these are all my crazy notes here, is I go to Annie when it comes to love and like really cracking your heart open to really let love in. I don't know if I knew how to let love in till the last decade of my life. And this girl, Annie, always will give me the words to make me go, God damn it, my love could even be deeper. I don't have the opposite side of my buddy, and I'm not going to say his name, when I talk about love. He's like, that crap ain't real. And dude, you're on the road and you got people screaming your name with all the opportunity you got. Why even be in love? I'm not asking that, dude. I love my wife. I want my wife to be even more bonded, more in love. I ask Annie, not my other buddy, right? I have this woman in my life. Her name is Danielle. She obsesses on health. Obsesses, but knows how to deliver it in a really simple way. Like everything I think about, from if I want to eat a Mediterranean diet, if I want to start yoga, if I want to exercise a certain way, if I want to do HIIT training, or I want to do OsteoStrong to make sure my bones are, everything I can do. This woman researches like crazy, and she's become a friend. Whenever I want to ask about health in an optimistic way, I ask Danielle, because she'll go, oh, Dean, that is so good. You want to do that? Let me tell you what I've read on it. Now, there's other people in your life that you ask about health. It's like, oh, God darn it, stop eating a salad. Eat a damn burger, for God's sakes, and stop being so obsessed with working out. You're 54 years old. Chill out. You're good. I don't want to talk to that person, because that person makes me go, yeah, maybe I should eat the damn burger and fries and not work out. I've been working hard. I could take a 6 month. Like, I don't want that. I want someone who inspires me, that challenges me. But this took years to build these relationships. I look at my friend John. I am not a connector. I'm going to talk more about this in a moment. I am not the network. I don't have a Rolodex. In the old days, a Rolodex was on your desk, and now it's in here. But I don't have a Rolodex of 1 million people that I network with. But I have a really good friend, John, who's probably the best networker in the world. So I've built a deep relationship with John. So when I need to get a hold of anybody in the world, I just go to John, and then he's got a big old network. Right? Rather than me trying to do it. Listen, I feel beyond blessed that Tony Robbins has become probably my dearest friend, business partner. We talk every day. Right now, he's just got off stage about 2 hours ago in Australia doing a UPW. He texted me as soon as he got off stage. This crowd's amazing. I love them. Tony has brought so much to my life. But he really connects me to purpose, passion. He really connects me to the depth of my relationship with my wife and how important that is. He's connected me on a deeper level of contribution and caring. So each of these people in my life, smaller but deeper, lift me up. And they make me feel okay about my crazy dreams. They make me okay about wanting more. It makes it okay that I want love and intimacy, and I want to be in the best shape of my life, and I want to be a good dad, and I want to have a profitable company that impacts the world. I want all of it. So if I want all of it, I got to surround myself with a network and with people that help fuel what I want and not say, oh, you're crazy. Does that make sense? Now, as I say this, please know that some of you are thinking, God, that sounds great, Dean. You have all those amazing people in your life. I don't even have one. I get that. And some of you have one and you want others. My job today is not to make you feel bad about what you don't have, but give you some insight on what could be possible through some simple steps, right? I'm glad, Francione, I'm glad you have one, right? So wherever you are, 1, 5, 20, we're going to talk about some cool ways to build that community, that network. You guys good with that? And again, excuse me for looking down, but I don't want to miss anything today. I was talking about, there's nothing worse than feeling alone on that journey, and nothing better than when you know you got some cheerleaders. So then I was thinking, some of you, who in here is here today and you came through Matthew McConaughey, that event we did with Matthew. Anybody here today from the Matthew McConaughey event? I see about 10% of the people. Good to see you, Don and Stephanie and Claudine. Good to have you here. Thanks, Caleb. Good to have you guys here. Now, that looks really cool. And the truth is, we did build a real friendship. I talked to Matthew yesterday. We're talking about another cool event coming in 2024. This one's going to take it to a whole nother level, right? So we're talking about some cool stuff. I get to say I did an event right in this room here with Matthew McConaughey, and 2.5 million people watched on day one. How insane. But then I was thinking, and this is the stuff I'm going to teach in a moment or share in a moment, is how the hell did I get to build a relationship with Matthew McConaughey and become friends and do some laugh our asses off together and do inner circles together, and he'll be back for 2 more inner circles this year alone. How did that happen? It wasn't like, hey, Matthew, I'm a cool dude and you should do a course with me, right? Or we should do a training together. It was one step at a time. It was some of the things I'm going to teach with you. I built a relationship with someone through some of the techniques I'm going to share. I built a relationship with someone who knew Matthew. And because I built this connection and through purpose, through bringing in the right people, I was 2 steps away and was able to get a 7-minute audio to Matthew. And that was the start of a relationship, the start of a friendship. And then I got to meet his agent and his lawyers and all the people that surround a great celebrity like that, and ended up building a great relationship with all of them. I flew to California last week to meet with his manager and his agent, who's just amazing, right? But I want to tell you how that happened. And so here's some things I wrote down. Now we're going to get to some tactics, like how the hell do you do it? I want to start, you can see a whole page of notes and they're even highlighted. But I want to start with, in my opinion, all good relationships start with reciprocity. Okay? All good relationships start with reciprocity. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is if you want to do a training with someone, you want to meet someone, is we ask before we give. And I know because it's in my DMs every day of people, I'm starting a new company, Dean, you should invest with me. Or Dean, you should put me on your podcast, or you should come on my podcast. And I want to support everybody, you can't. But I know there's a difference between asking for something first or delivering value first. What if a decade ago, I was at Tony's Date with Destiny. I don't know if anybody's ever been to Date with Destiny. It's an amazing event. I think it'll go down in history. And 100 years from now, they'll be talking about Tony's Date with Destiny as one of the greatest events of all time. But as I'm at the event, I've already built this reciprocity. I'll tell you how I met Tony, and we built our relationship through reciprocity. But there was something Tony said, and it made me, the outcome was, don't keep score. So if you want to write that down, don't keep score. Reciprocity, yes, I'll share that in a moment. But don't keep score came from Tony saying, imagine if you felt love every time you gave love, not when you received it based on your terms. Imagine you felt love when you did something for your children. You felt love when you did something for your sister, your brother, your significant other. Imagine if you felt love by the giving, not going, oh, I gave that. Let's see if he gives it back to me. Let's see if she does for me what I did for her. Who knows in relationship, in personal relationship, who has ever kept score in a relationship to it got to a point that you lost intimacy, lost connection, and you built resentment? It's like, I do all these things for him. I do all these things for her. All I ask for is this one thing, and he can't do that or she can't do that, right? Doesn't that start to build this separation and push us apart? So, reciprocity is really, the way I define it, is imagine you do something in advance for someone else, someone you want to build a relationship with, someone you think would be perfect to be as in a network or in a community with you, in contact with you to help support each other. Imagine instead of asking first, you help without expectation. You provide value without caring about anything in return. You don't keep score, and you actually feel good by the gift, not watching your watch until the gift returns. And I get these crazy thoughts in my head. I hope this is landing. I've never taught this before, so I hope this is landing. But imagine if there was like a karmic meter, measuring stick. And thank you, Nancy. Imagine if there was this measuring stick, someone in the universe, in the world was measuring. And because you were putting things out there and you were feeling appreciative, you were feeling connected just by the gift of giving, that you were giving without expectation. You were not keeping score. You were building reciprocity. You actually felt good by giving. Imagine if you did that with 3 people. Nothing happened. Imagine the karmic debt keeper going, wow, Chris, she's done all this. No, that person never got back to her. That person didn't appreciate her. It's time for her to have a really good connection. Because I know I've done things in my life that I've done so much for someone and nothing came back. And I could hold on to it like, God, all I did for that person and nothing. But then all of a sudden you don't pay attention to the tap on the shoulder and the new relationship that comes into your life. You're like, oh, but that relationship pretty damn good. I didn't do anything. What if it was the keeper of connectability, if that's the right way to phrase this, and just knows that you might not got what you gave to these 3 people, but since you did it in such a great way, and you did it from your heart, like Maris just said, all of a sudden the connection, the network person, the person in your life in Mastermind reaches out and sends you a DM and says, Elaine, Christopher, Rick, Karen, Solange, I see you on here. I see your post. I think we got a lot in common. I'm really good at this. Can I help you with this? And I see you're really good at that. Can you help me with that? You see, I know this sounds crazy and it sounds like I am a little ADD going all over the place. We're taught in school not to collaborate, which is called cheating, right? I think that's the biggest mistake in schools. If I'm good at math and Mark Bowles is good at English, well, why doesn't he help me with English and I'll help him with math and we both get better? That's not cheating. That's collaboration. That's networking. That's what we do in business and life. I hire people that aren't exactly like me. My team are people who fill in the holes of where I'm weak. In school, it's cheating. In life, it's collaboration. It's growth, right? So some of the networking I'm talking about is not, listen, I shared Annie helps me with love. She helped me open my heart in a completely different way to love my wife in a way I didn't know that I could love. That's a true story. I was on the phone with Annie 3 weeks ago, helping her doing a big event with her husband and how to serve people at a 3-day event in a huge way. That's my jam. I helped her make it the most successful event they've ever had. Because she's helping me with something I need, I'm helping her. Danielle, who I go to for health, I just gave her the blueprint on how to launch her own course on health. The entire blueprint. Reciprocity, we're helping each other, right? But I talked about my buddy John. I helped John restructure the marketing of his entire $100 million a year company. He took it to a whole nother level. Now he's exiting that company for a ridiculous amount of money. I can't share it publicly, right? John, the greatest connector in the world, I helped with that marketing, but that man, whenever I need anything, that guy is there, especially in the medical field. He's connected to every doctor you could possibly imagine. My dad today, my dad had a stroke a year ago. My dad today is at the #1 stroke facility in the country, front door access, because John is friends with the gentleman, the doctor that runs the whole thing. You don't think I'm going to do whatever I can to help John when he does that for me? Now, this takes time, but here's the thing, is our brains work in this weird way. Our brains work in this weird way that we subtly ask first to see if this is a person that wants to play with us rather than giving first. So what I'd love to share with you guys today is as you build this network, what if you become the most selfless person on the planet? If you see someone you can help, help them. If you see someone that you'd like to collaborate with, share what you're good at. If I said, hey, Robin, I love the way you're posting. You write so elegantly. I'd love to help you turn that into your writing, turn into elegant marketing. But I could really use some help on my newsletter that I work on. Or you just start with Robin and just help her for a while, build a relationship and say, Robin, if you'd like, I could use some help over here. I got to tell you the story. Tony Robbins impacted my life 27 years ago before he knew me. I bought his stuff off an infomercial and it was amazing and I loved it and followed a lot of his principles. That's why some of the reasons I'm here today. And about 12 years ago, I had the chance to meet Tony. And we got done. We were going to meet for an hour, and we ended up sitting together for like 8 hours. He canceled the rest of his day. We had this amazing relationship. I still talk about it with his wife, Sage. She brought us lunch, then she brought us a late lunch, then she brought us dinner, and then the sun went down. We just sat there and talked forever. Now, when we were done with that first message, I didn't think to myself, I honestly didn't want to be partners with Tone because I saw so many people wanted to be. I'm like, I just want to be friends with him. But one of the things I did right in the beginning of our relationship is I went to Unleash the Power Within. I went to a live event, and it was unbelievable. But after the event, I was looking for more Tony. Like, I wanted more inspiration. I wanted to feel the state of mind that I felt at the event. I wanted to feel that way every day. And I was online. I found myself like Googling Tony videos and things like that. So I said to myself, I know that you should know this, especially if we're in the same business, a great follow-up sequence would be amazing. Imagine you go to a UPW and then you get emails of short little clips of Tony and inspiration that you need to stay on the path. I'm like, man, that's so good. Tony served me 27 years ago by selling me a course. So I just went and spent a week and I wrote every email myself. I recorded 7 videos that I thought he could record in Tony's voice so he could just transcribe them and do the same video. I got the email delivery system. I got pictures and graphics. I built the whole thing and I just sent it to his team. And he found out like 3 weeks later, he's like, oh my God, you did all that? I'm like, hey, you sold me a course 20 something years ago. It changed my life. My gift. He's like, what can I do for you? I'm like, nothing. We had a great conversation. Hope your team enjoys it. I didn't know if Tony'd ever call me again. I didn't know if he was going to use it. I didn't know but all I know is I gave him that. And then I remember I did something else. But then this man, because we weren't keeping score, he did something for me that was like game changing. And we got literally in a battle, a silent battle of who could do more for each other. And we were just helping each other in our core competencies. What Tony does, he's the best in the world. I'm not anywhere near what his lane is. What I do and marketing and the things I do, I don't think there's anybody as good as me. So I was helping him with the marketing and things like that. He was helping me with stage presence and all those things. And man, it was just amazing. And it's still that way to today. So imagine, when these people I shared, imagine if we fast forward, imagine if you had a network of people in your life where you competed to do more for each other and you didn't keep score. I'm saying that out loud, and I want to tell you, I'm the luckiest man alive. I'm beyond grateful right now. I've never shared this training. I've never talked about it before. I'm so blessed for the people that are in my life like right now. And it didn't happen overnight. I'm 54 years old, and it probably took me 30 years to figure this out. So please know, I'm not saying this happens tomorrow. But could it happen over the next year in your life? Yeah, hell yes. And is it worth it? Hell yes. The support I feel. And then some other things I want to share is when you start building a relationship with the right people, those relationships can also fit who you are at this phase of your life. Meaning, there are some people in your life, if anybody, raise your hand if you got some people in your life that if you didn't call them in a week or a month, they'd be insulted and be like, oh, you're too busy for me. Raise if you got somebody in your life that's like that, right? Well, more than half. I'm in a phase of my life, I can't have even one person in my life that is like that. Not one. Because I have 4 kids, I have a wife I love, I run my business, I help run Tony's business. We have 3 other businesses that we're involved in nonstop. Most of my time is my children, my friends, my children, my wife, and my team. I love my friends. I would do anything for the people I just shared. But I don't have the time to call them sometimes on their birthday. Some of them I don't even know their birthday. But they know I'm here unconditionally, and they're here unconditionally. I think of Brendan Burchard. And some of you might know Brendan, one of my dearest friends. I don't talk to Brendan every day, but if that man texts me and says I need to talk, I'll drop everything to do whatever I can to serve that man, just like he will for me. He's one of my greatest friends in the world that I see 3 times a year and talk to 10 times a year. One of my greatest friends, right? It's a different model, but that model fits my life. He'll just text me out of the blue and say, hope all 4 kids are kicking ass. I know you're busy. Just want to say I love you. I have another friend, the last friend that was been around forever, and he's been my friend since I was little. He stopped talking to me for 2 years because I didn't talk to him every week or didn't call him. And I said, I love you. I'm here for you. But if you can't accept me for me, I can't adjust. I just can't. I'm not in a place. My kids, my family, my career, my impact that I want to make on the world is my number one thing. But I'll always be here for you. I know you'll be here for me. He left for about 2 years. We're back on terms, and he came back, and he's happier, and he appreciates me for me, and I appreciate him for him. Sometimes you got to do those things. I know I'm digressing a little, but I'm sharing through this lens is building relationships that support you and the woman or the man you're meant to be, not the one you're sometimes pretending to be, is beyond crucial. Let me give you some other. Aspects that I think are really important. So you say, how do you meet someone? Okay, so first off, thinking about, and I'm going to jump ahead here. I'm going to jump actually to the end of my notes that I know I wrote last night. Is you can have. I love having friends that are from 3 different categories, okay? I'm going to go back and forth a little bit. 1, I like to, of course, I want to be friends with people who are doing better than me. If I want to get good at tennis, I want to play someone who kicks my ass, right? I love being friends with Tony Robbins. Oh my God, I can do amazing on stage, the best of my life, and I watch him like, oh, I got to grow. I got to grow. That guy stretches me in everything we do. He stretches me on how much I give away each year to charity. I'll give away and I'll be like, the most I ever gave. He's like, great, this is what I did. I'm like, damn it, I got to give away more to charity. I got to help more people. I got to save more lives, provide more meals, plant more trees, right? Whatever it is, he'll inspire me. So I love having a relationship. Please hear this. Have a relationship in your life that someone stretches you. You don't look at them at resentment, that they're doing better, they got lucky, or life's easier for them. No, they had the same shit you have to deal with, and they're doing better, and they inspire you to go. True? Because our brain can screw up. Our brain could go, well, if I was 6'7" and had a voice like Tony, of course. Like, your brain can say some stupid stuff. Instead of making excuses why they made it and you're not, just be like, there's shit they deal with, excuse my language, in the invisible that I don't know about. They made it. I want what they want. I want them in my life. Okay? Number 2, I see you, Nicole, right? Number 2, you want people on your level. This group. This is a bunch of us all wanting to do the same thing. This is the greatest group to find friends on. I'm just telling you right now, finding someone and multiple people here in Mastermind is the greatest group because you're all on the same page, wanting the same thing, meant for more, taking uncomfortable action, not sure if can I really do this? You're questioning yourself. You know you can. You want to go in there. You want to serve others. You want to have a purpose-driven paycheck. This is the group you'll find your family. I'm telling you right now. You want people at the same level as you so you could huddle and get together and all work on ways. You know, what's the best definition of a mastermind? The collectiveness of people rising above and creating a better, smarter person, right? Like, I think Napoleon Hill said, it's more than two or more people in a room that makes a smarter mind. That's a mastermind, right? If Nicole and Solange and Elaine and Genesty and Sol and Caleb and Jody Young all got in a room and you're all doing different things, but in the same area, you're on the same plateau. All of you get, oh, I know how to do this. Oh, no, I fail at this. Oh, me too. But let me tell you how I got over. All of a sudden, everybody gets smarter. So you want some friends on your level, right? And then you also want some people that are kind of wanting to get where you are. And if you think, yeah, nobody's below, no, I don't mean below like I'm better, but of course there are. There's a whole world of people that would die to be you. Just hear me on that. There's a whole world of people that would die to be you. Because sometimes when you see that, that's where humble and humility comes from. That's where your heart comes in. And sometimes those people you give a helping hand to take off like a skyrocket in life and you help them on their journey. Is that true? Right? Or they discovered something that you forgot. They remember what it's like to live in their heart and you're stuck in your head. They remember the importance of love and you forgot. You're too focused on your career, or vice versa. So having that variety, I see you, Nancy, shaking your head, yes, right? Having that variety of friends, someone who inspires you, that's doing better than you, cool, no envy. They did it, I can do it. Share the path. The collaboration of the people all fighting for the same thing, kind of on the same level. And then also those people that are wishing they could be where you are. Now, here's some cool things that I've done and shared through the years. You say, how would I get to someone who's a step above? They already got the book coming out. They have a podcast that's doing amazing. They got a bunch of followers on YouTube. Here's a big secret. Ready for this one? Write down timing. Timing. Let's say there are 10 influencers that when you watch them share, you're like, I could resonate with that person. I like what she does. I like what he does. I like what she shares. Imagine if you're following them, right? And you see that they have a book coming out. Sometimes, like I said, I get texts, DMs every day of people saying, Dean, you should be on my show. Dean, you should invest in this. Dean, you should do this. I want to be on your show. How do I do this? How do I get to meet you, right? And I wish I could meet everybody, and I love all the beautiful messages. But how about if you sent a message to someone that you're following and said, hey, Jessica, I see you're coming out with a book in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't have the biggest following in the world, but I do have a great network of people. I just wanted to let you know I love what you do. I know your book's going to be amazing. I am going to support that book in every way I possibly can. If there's anything I can do to help you supporting that book, an interview or anything, just let me know. How does that feel different than the other? When I get those messages, you have no idea how many people we end up communicating with, helping. Like, we do so many things because that's someone who's putting their heart first. That's reciprocity, right? Or someone's got a podcast that's launching for their first time, or their podcast is going to another level. Imagine, hey, I see your podcast has moved up the charts. You're in the top 100 of podcasts. So amazing. Hey, I love what you're doing. I don't have a monster network, but I'm going to tell everybody I know to listen to your podcast. Hey, and if there's anything I can do, communicate with you, let me know how I can help serve. It's just that now will every single person respond to you in that way? Hell no. But I'll put some money that 20% will. You'll be shocked of how people will say, that's really awesome. I really appreciate that. Yeah, this would be cool. Or I would love this. Or what do you think about this? Or hey, how about I interview you for my podcast? How about I put you on that next podcast? I'd love for you to share. What do you like about what I teach, right? Or imagine I had somebody ages ago, and we ended up putting them on our stage and sharing or inviting them to our mastermind. I had this amazing woman. I see it happen a lot, but she would draw these amazing pictures of a training I did. She'd take a training like this and she would draw networking, and she'd draw some of your beautiful faces, and she'd draw me sitting in this chair and with my hand up and my glasses on, and she'd take quotes from the day, and she'd make this beautiful infographic all drawn by hand. Man, I saw these and she sent them to me. She's like, what you did today changed my life. Like today she might say, man, I'm going to network in a different way. I'm not going to keep score. I'm going to build reciprocity. I'm going to do without expecting it, and I'm going to fall in love with giving. Thank you. And she was sending me these things. By the fourth time, I'm like, hire her and put her in our next mastermind. She can draw it live while we're here, right? She didn't say, hey, you should hire me to draw these amazing things. This woman just gave without asking. I wanted to give back. Now, she might have done that for 10 other people, but she got my attention. And I think the importance of what I want to share today is that building a support network and I'm repeating myself, is crucial. But don't think it happens overnight. You don't have to throw away the wrong friends today and go out searching. It's a slow evolution. It just, why these inner circles, I love these inner circles, why I love having you being a part of this community is because these are the little things that build, right? This is, I love that saying, small hinges swing a big door. A lot of the things that we share are just small hinges in the journey to a better life, a more fulfilled life, a more abundant life, a more profitable life, a more purpose-driven life. So I want you to know when I share, it's not like, oh, my whole life is good. I want to give you the little things that are actually the big things. And when I talked about networking, we made that kind of the theme of Mastermind this month. Not networking, more like building your network. Not networking, building a network, building an inner circle, building your relationships. It makes me reflect and go, where the hell would I be if I didn't have the ability to reach out to these certain people, to feel propped up, to feel supported? Could I do it on my own? Who's ever given up on past dreams because of one or two reasons? You felt alone. Raise your hand if you've given up on past dreams because you felt like you were the only one fighting for it. And who's ever given up on past dreams because you got bad advice from the wrong people in your life? Raise your hand if you ever got bad advice from the wrong people in your life, right? Guilty, me too. So if that's the case, let's just start the shift in the journey and start looking out for the people we're going to network with. Start looking for people in Mastermind. Stay inside the community and watch how people post. And you're going to go, wow, she sounds like Jill, sounds like me. We got the same thoughts here. I wonder what Jill's expertise is, right? Imagine reaching out to Carla Carpenter or Colleen, right? Or Rosie and being like, hey, Rosie, I see you on here all the time. What is it that you really excites you? What do you think your greatest gift is? What do you love to serve? I'm telling you, the more you just chat and give, you'll find somebody. And what I love about a friendship, isn't it the best when you find somebody that fills your blind spots or helps support the holes? Or so, I mean, there is nothing better than having a group of people and say, I know this is crazy, but my network of people, I said, I know this is crazy. I'm going to reach out to Matthew McConaughey and see if we could do this thing. Most people will be like, do you know him? How's that? He's a star. Why would he do that? I get a group of people like, well, if anybody could do it, you could. Go after it. You guys would kill it. You guys on camera together. Oh my God. That little subtle difference, that little subtle shift is something that you could start today. Now, who in here, does anybody have an experience? Raise your hand if you had a little bit of a breakthrough today. Raise your hand if you have an experience where the wrong friend talked you out of who you were meant to be, right? Keep your hand up if you'd like to share that. I'd love to pick somebody today. I got some more stuff to share, but if you'd like to share it, keep your hand up. Oh my God, all these great hands. If you guys want to pick somebody, I got, you know what? How about Anna Sexton? I hope I got that right. I don't have a room number, guys. I don't know if you can find her. Hold on, don't play music yet. It might take a minute to find Anna. She's on my screen. There's no numbers on it today. Usually I could say room 2, number 5. But if we could grab Anna Sexton. Everybody give it up for Anna.
So funny.
How you doing, Anna?
I'm really good, thank you.
Are you having a good day?
I'm having an amazing day. As you said it, I was like, he's gonna pick me.
Well, listen, everybody raised their hand. You had double hands up. I'm like, well, she's doubly enthusiastic this morning. So I saw some amazing faces of people I know, and I didn't want to pick someone that I've picked in the past. I see you, Helen. Good to see you. Good to see you, Cyrene. So many family members that I've seen for years. Anna, it's a pleasure to meet you for the first time. So tell me an experience maybe someone else can resonate with.
This is talking about people talking you out of your dreams.
Yeah, or that, or anything you want to share. Anything, a breakthrough you had today. I wasn't going to pick somebody, I just felt like it. So you could share whatever you want, or you could ask me a question.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. I think for me, it's like I've just had a really big breakthrough today where I'm doing Launchpad and I've realized I'm putting myself in the wrong rooms. I've grown out of the rooms that I'm in. So how do I get into bigger, better rooms with the right people? So
Well,
that's what that's
you
the
put that out in the
breakthroughs I'm
universe. You're
having.
in a pretty cool room right now, Anna. So I guess the universe spoke back to you today.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much. So I guess the question is, when you're like realizing that you're changing yourself, how do you do that authentically and um step out of your own way and not be fearful?
Yeah, really great question. You know, sometimes we don't realize in life, Anna, that we dream of breaking through the boundaries that we've created for ourselves. But the more we've done the same thing, I hope everybody hears this, you're going to be challenged in this journey of doing something new. You're either going to have the fear of starting small, or the fear you're not good enough, or will this work, or will people criticize me, and am I good enough for this? Do I know enough? Am I enough? All the things we talked about in the Own Your Future Challenge. But those things get brighter. Hear me, everyone. They don't get more dim when you're closer to success. They actually have a magnifying glass on them right before the breakthrough. Please hear me on that. Please, if you're thinking to yourself, maybe this isn't for me, that means you're closer than you were. I'm not saying you are, Anna. I'm sharing everybody right now. When the change is about ready to happen, that's when the inner voice goes, no, 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 we're good. We're good. We built these boundaries. We're fine. Let's just stay here. It gets louder. Self-doubt gets louder. Imposter syndrome, whatever word you want to use, gets louder the closer you are to a breakthrough. I've noticed that in all areas of my life. Right? Tony and I are working on a couple things right now that are really stretching me, Anna. Really stretching me, like bigger than anything I've ever worked on in my life. Exponentially bigger. And I'm excited and scared to death all at the same time. And when I find myself going, should I really do this? I've done it long enough to now go, I must. This is my calling. It means I'm really getting close to a breakthrough because I feel I'm nervous as hell, right? And then all of a sudden there's that new identity. And can I ask you something, Anna? Is it really a new identity, or are you just taking off the shell of the identity that was always in there?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think it's a little bit about of both. Like it's like taking off the old coat that I'm really associated with. So it's comfortable, but probably needs to go to the dry cleaners and get sent to
Yeah,
the charity shop.
yeah, I love
And
that.
and like I guess it's like you said something about it being really, yeah, I think it's that thing of like, this is who I really am. And before, it's only been little bits of me showing up, like
Yeah.
trying to
No,
get through the cracks.
so let me tell you, there's the inner and the outer. So I'm answering spontaneously. I had to think about it a little bit. I had to put myself back in those shoes. So when you ask a question, I wanted to talk a little bit more because I want to put myself in that moment, that position of when I was there. And here's what I'd say. The inner and the outer is simply this. The inner voice is going, am I good enough to make this shift? And what would it be like? And that's kind of a little unknown over there. So it's scary. And then our brain says, ooh, and if I do it, how will it affect the outside world? Am I going to look pompous and look like I'm better than my friends because I want better rooms to be in? I don't want to be the big fish in a little pond anymore. I want to be the small fish in the ocean so I can grow exponentially, right? So you got both of these. You got the inner voice going, hey, we're good. We're good. We got a good life. Don't mess with it. And then you're worried about the rooms you're in. And again, what I'd say is both of those are normal. But as soon as you start taking these steps, the uncomfortable becomes the most comfortable thing in your life. Meaning, it's only uncomfortable because you haven't gone there yet. So I'm thinking of it like you got these guardrails up. All of us do in the life that we have. Stepping out of the guardrails seems crazy at first, but when you do, sometimes you find the paradise that's been waiting for you your whole life, and you don't ever get to experience it unless you embrace the uncomfortable. Now, you asked me about the rooms. You want to be in bigger rooms. The only thing I could share is do it with compassion and empathy as you move. Meaning, friends are going to question you. I'm telling you, if you follow the model I did today, whatever niche you're in, whatever niche you're going in, whatever other creators that you like, start networking. Start networking with people in here. You will find a group of people in this room right now. You will find a group of people that you might follow that are in the same genre as you by doing this reciprocity first. Give without expecting. You'll start building these groups. And the thing is, as you build these groups, you'll start finding new friends, new experiences, new things where you used to do this with your free time. Now you're working on your next course, or you're working on the presentation you want to give, or you're networking, right? It starts to change. And the people in the current groups are going to feel the difference in you. They're going to feel it. And you're going to be less available. And those things happen as you grow. When that happens, if someone gave me the advice, because I had to figure this out, I don't know, if I wish someone would have told me to just ask for grace. To just say, hey, I'm working on something that's in my heart. I can't deny it anymore. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you, but I might be a little distant. I might not do the things we used to do. I might not be in the room with you at certain times. And if it offends you, I'm sorry, but I'm asking for a little grace in advance because I have to do this. And if you had to do something, if you had to do it, I would support you unconditionally, and I'm asking for that. I think most, even if it's begrudgingly, will be like, I got to support her. And the ones that don't, maybe you allow a little distance, and they either come back or they don't. But I promise you, if the space opens up, it'll be filled with the right person that could be wind, as I said earlier, behind your sail, not an anchor. I hope that helps. Any follow-up question on that or any thoughts?
No, it's really, it makes me think of what happens like when my mum went back to school. Like we held space for her so she could go back to school. It's that kind of thing, isn't it? You've got to just put your head down and get on with it and try it out.
Yeah, and you don't know until you do it. So I'm so glad you asked that question because I truly believe most of us give up when we're just one corner away from the finish line of our new life, right? I love that quote from Og Mandino in the book, The World's Greatest Salesman. He said, the prize is at the end of the journey, not the beginning. And it's not I'm paraphrasing, but he said, we're not going to know how many corners we have to go around until our next level of life is there. We just got to keep going around the corners no matter what. And I love that thought of like, hey, I got to go on a journey to find the new me. I'm going to question myself. My friends are going to question me. I'm going to have self-doubt. I'm going to be scared, but I am not stopping until I get around the corner where I see me in the mirror and go, that's us. This is who I'm supposed to be. Anna, I'm so glad you raised both your hands and asked the great question. People are loving the question you asked. Can we please give it up for Anna?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, guys, that is our inner circle today. Thank you for being a part of our mastermind family. Thanks for spending the hour. Go out and start this journey. Remember, nothing happens overnight. You don't have to blow up old friendships and just go all, but this is the subtle shift. This is the small hinge. This is part of the ingredients to that next level of life where we have the courage, the confidence to continue to move forward. For those of you that are going to be at Launchpad Live, our live event. Can't wait to see you there. It's going to be amazing. We got a new course coming out on the 15th. Be on the lookout for that. We'll have some amazing guests throughout the months here at Inner Circle. And we'll see you on Monday Lives in the Facebook group. I appreciate y'all. See you soon.